What's going on, everyone? Tanner Poppet here of Madrost and Poppet's Corner. Just reminding you that our new record, Charring the Rotting Earth, is now available at NoLifeTomatoRecords.com. That's right. Just go in the search bar, type in NoLifeTomatoRecords.com, and support. Again, NoLifeTomatoRecords.com. Now, let's check out the episode you came to see.
It is Aftershocks right here on AftershocksTV.com, and joining us today to talk about a killer, and I do mean a killer new release, simply called 10 or X, depending on how you read it. It is the band Artillery, and it is the guitarist from the band Artillery. The longtime member of the band is Mr. Michael Szuter. Michael, how are you, man?
I'm fine.
Awesome, man. Well, like I said, man, what a record. What a heavy, solid, just straight punch in the face like all metalheads need to have, man. Great work.
Thank you very much. I very appreciate that. That's really, really tough to hear that. Cool to hear that.
Absolutely, man. Well, Michael, let's talk about this release a little bit. Obviously, it comes at a very tough time for you personally. Obviously with your brother passing away, and he was your partner in crime with Artillery. So,
yes.
Talk a little bit about that. You don't have to get too much into the personal unless you want to, but I'm curious, how did it feel to go into a record without him and without so much of the creative process that he brought with him?
That was really tough, especially in the start, because that was the only thing in my life I ever wondered about, thinking about stopping playing music, because I really, really missed him there, on especially on that occasions. But he always said to me, Michael, don't you dare to stop Artillery. You have to go on. And we do that, and I hope he, somewhere where he is now, will listen to this record and give the thumbs up. So he was very unique, both as a musician, as a human, So of course you miss him a lot.
Sure.
But I will also say the new guitar player Crane have done it really good, and really, we've been playing with him live since 2017. So that was cool to have him brought in.
Sure. What was it difficult for you just to even go into the writing of this music without having, without being able to look to your left and say, hey, what do you think of this? Or what do you think of that? I imagine it had to be just extremely difficult because you've obviously never done this before.
Yeah, sure. And the other guys in band also told me that I was not singing as much as I used to do in the studio, and I really, was thinking a lot about things, and of course it was difficult, but also Crane did some of the songs and was a very good help there, and Peter did one song also on this album. So all in all, it was really cool, And when the whole thing is over now and the recording is finished, I'm really glad we did it, because I know Morten will have said to me, why didn't you go on if you hadn't done it, So yeah, I appreciate that.
Sure. And you definitely did a great work. You speak about Crane, and obviously he did a great job on this record. It's just a fantastic release.
Thanks.
Obviously, he walked into a very tough spot because there's so much emotion going on, especially with you, but with the entire band. And, everything is now changed. How long was it before you felt comfortable working with him and he felt comfortable, being in the band?
I think, of course, on the first album, you have some things you have to find out, because you're not used to work with each other on that kind of way. But I think at the end of the recording process, we found each other really cool, and we always had that feeling live, So I think it was. Yeah, on the last of the days of the recording stuff, we really knew what we wanted together and stuff. And on the next album, I'm sure we're going to be working a lot more together, because now we know what direction we want to go, and how we want to play and stuff like that.
Sure. At the beginning of the recording of 10, did you write some music that just didn't feel right for you before you found your groove, or did you find that you were writing music that felt right away?
Oh, yeah, that's always difficult, because I think most of the songs I wrote for this album, I had the feeling of that they would shoot the record on some kind of way. You know, we always try to play some really fast songs, some mellow songs, and even have a ballet type of song. So we knew a kind of way where we were going for. But of course, there will always be songs you say, okay, maybe that shouldn't have fit this time, and you change something in it, and then it will fit much better, you know. So, but and at the end, I think it was very agreeing on what kind of songs we wanted to have on the album.
Okay, definitely. Now, with the change, obviously, the one consistent piece that you did have was you had Soren Anderson back at the helm, production wise, and you know he's been, for people that don't know, he's been with the band more than a decade, I believe. He's been with you guys a long time. Was that important to have someone that's that familiar with you to kind of help guide you, you know, through the changes of, you know, of band members and creative process and everything?
Yeah, because Søren is, as you said, a very unique producer. He also is a very unique guitar player. He plays with Glenn Hughes for Deep Purple, for example, and he does a lot of things. He's a very good guitar player, and he has that kind of pushing you all the good ways, you know. He had a lot of humor. He's very nice to be with. He's a good friend of the band. He has helped us since 2009. So yeah, he's a really cool guy, and as you can hear on the production, I think is eminent. You know, he's so great producer. He really makes that sound I really want to listen to myself. You know, so that's very important. He's like a sixth member of the band sometimes.
Sure. That, and to have somebody that familiar with what you do, it probably made it a little easier this time for you, I'm assuming, because he knows what you're capable of, and where other things may be different in the band, he knows how to guide you to making songs that feel distinctly like Artillery.
Yeah, because he always could. In for example, if you play a guitar solo, he can say to me, "What the hell? What you did? What was that you was doing there?" And you know, he's so supportive and say, "Keep that going. That's kind of way. That sounds so cool. Do that again." You know, and that's really a good thing. And also on the vocal side, he's very unique to make harmonies and suggestions how Michael could do some things. You know, Michael is terrible good singer. You know, he can really sing, and Søren is good to make him say, okay, try this a bit harder there, or try to make that kind of singing there and stuff like that. And he's very cooperative there. So he's very unique, and he can play almost all instruments. You know, so he's so good to work with.
Definitely is. Well, and he definitely guided you into creating some great stuff. Now, the one song, Michael, that really stands out to me is Beggars in Black Suits. Just if you guys have ever written a song that's more relatable to what's going on in the world today, I don't know what it is. So talk about that song, man, because it's almost like you took a newspaper or something, and then you literally rewrote it to fit the song. So talk about that one.
Yeah, it's a idea from Crane, this guitar stuff in the song. But Michael did a song there because, you know, as you said, it's very the way the world is in many cases. You know, always the good guys they have a lot of money with taking the good clothes on, and then say that that's how, give me some money and I can help you. You know, give you some. And all of those people have so much money already, you know. So that's why they are beggars in black suits.
Hey, definitely. Now, Michael, you guys have always you've always sort of had a political slant, but you're not, you know, you've never been those guys that get out in the press and you're like, do this or do that because, you know, that's the way it should be. I'm curious, when you write songs based on political message or you know, social commentary like Beggars in Black Suits, are you writing from the space of looking at how it is in Denmark, or looking across the pond over here to America, or kind of more worldwide at what you just see around the world?
it's all from all the world, you know. Artillery had made lots of songs. For example, did the song Komaniac, who was about a Iranian dictator, for example. It could have been Ceausescu from Romania at that time. It could have been a lot of stuff, but we never say to people, listen to us, we have the right decision, we have the right way to do it. But we only tell things, you know, that we think is very different and very strange, you know, and then people can take their own decision and say, is that right, or is that correct, or is it another way? You know, we never tell people to say you have to do this, you have to think that, you have to do that, because that's up to the own people to think what they mean, you know. So of course, it's a free world. You can have your things and what you like, you know. But of course, we will say what we think is not the best.
Right, definitely is. Now, Michael, you know, no secret, the world is still stuck with COVID. You know, we're
Yeah.
still in this ugly place, and you know, it does look like we're starting to look past COVID a little bit. It does seem like there is some touring that's opening up and whatnot, even if it's small shows or half filled or whatnot. What are you thinking it's going to look like for a band like Artillery?
Yeah.
When things open up, do you think it's going to be hard to get shows and hard to get tours with the way the world is?
In fact, we had already booked, you know, 36 shows, 10 festivals we should have been playing on. And if Corona didn't stop it, last year we had played a lot of shows. And this year we also have already many shows. You know, in Denmark, we are allowed to play from the 6th of May. And we have already in May 4 or 5 shows in Denmark. So Denmark is open up now because the government in Denmark was very fast to close it all down. And we didn't really have the big problems with Corona, like, for example, United States. And I know I have a lot of friends in the United States who told me that it has been awful to be there because of the Corona there. So we still hope, you know, we should have been playing one of the biggest festivals in Scandinavia, Sweden Rock. This is already moved to 2022. So yeah, we hope that we can get all the shows out to play. As I said, we have a lot of shows we can play when Corona allows it. So we don't gonna miss shows because we have a lot of shows going on. So we only waiting for the Corona to say goodbye.
Right, sure. Do you think that even a year from now, though, that like a Sweden Rock or a Wacken or what have you, do you think they're going to be the same, or do you think they're going to, like Wacken? I cannot imagine, just personally, I can't imagine a year from now they're going to say, okay, 120,000 people come on into one space. I can't see it.
No, it's going to be difficult, but I think it's very important how the vaccines are going to work, because if they're working good, I think it's going to be more easier to get shows like Wacken, for example, up to go. You know, in Denmark we have a big festival called Copenhagen, and they also fight a lot for things to go. They haven't announced yet that they are moving it. They still try to get it going, but I think it's going to be very difficult because it's not only the way in Denmark, it's also many American bands, for example, can they leave the United States to play and so on, you know. So it's difficult, but I really hope the vaccinations will work so we can get the festivals back to really go on next year. But as you said, I think it's difficult to get 120,000 people in for Wacken, for example. But I'm crossing my fingers.
Right, exactly. I'm with you. Now, Michael, one last thing real quick before I let you go. Getting ready for this interview today, you know, I obviously went back and listened to the classics. I pulled out Terror Squad and just rocked that one, and listened to Fear of Tomorrow as well. And I mean, it brings back a lot of memories and you know, such a good time for you guys. What do you hear when you listen back to them now? Do you hear it the way I do and be like, oh, that was a great time? Or do you hear it and be like, oh man, this sucks. I wish I would have done this better or whatnot?
No, I'm really proud of what we have been doing through the years, you know. And I always love to play music. So, and I still have that. When we play Terror Squad, for example, live, people are still going crazy, you know. And we still love to play the song, even if we have been playing it so much. We still play. Last time we played The Almighty for the first album, for example. We still play songs from that and keep the old songs in memory, you know, because not only because people want to hear them, but also because we love to play them. We just take on this new set we have made. We just take some new songs we hadn't been playing for a while for the old albums too, also, and we even took some songs for When Dead Comes we hadn't been playing for a long time too. So that was really cool to make that, And of course, people really want to hear songs like Terror Squad by Harrison's When Dead Comes, Legions, for example. So we have to keep some of the songs, but we always try to put some new songs in between.
Mm-hmm. And it's difficult to do that now that you have this, 10 albums, 100 some songs. It's difficult to find the ones to cut.
Yeah, we can't make any more albums because we can't put them in this.
Well, let's not go that far. We need more music from you guys, but for now, what we do have is this great new release. It's simply called 10 or X, depending on how you read it. It is Artillery. And Michael, where should people go online to keep up with Artillery and tour dates and all that stuff?
Thank you very much, and keep the good spirit in the United States, and hope you can get fuck the corona over there too.
All right. Well, Michael, thanks once again for joining us here on Aftershocks.
Thank you very much. Keep metal.
There you go.
Thanks for listening to Aftershocks. For more episodes, go to our website at www.aftershockspodcast.com. Visit us on our Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter pages for more news and information on the podcast. And be sure to subscribe, listen to, and review all episodes on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and all other podcast platforms. For your music listening pleasure, visit our website or go to www.shockwavesradio.com. For all comments and questions, please email us at info@aftershockspodcast.com.
All right, that was a lot of fun, wasn't it? And you know what else is a lot of fun? The CMS Podcast Network. That's right, CMSPN.com is the address. Make sure you go over there. Make sure you watch the episodes there, you listen to the episodes there, and maybe you even just subscribe so it's delivered to your phone, to whatever podcasting software you use, but do it from CMSPN.com. Once again, CMSPN.com, CMSPN.com, CMSPN.com. We'll see you next time, fucks.